It's July 3rd, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR today. In this show, we talk about how Bitcoin is money, how Bitcoin supply is literally, not figuratively, literally running out. MSTR versus Metaplanet, the boxing gloves are on. How Chanos gets wrecked, we break that down. A lot of more great stuff coming up, but nothing in this video is financial advice. And I will say thank you for all your comments. Let's hodl. We've continued to hodl. We need to keep hodling. So let's put a nice HODL because until this earnings report comes out in late July, early August, the front running will commence. So let's hodl. And also, let's dive on in. Okay, we're starting today's episode off with a post from Michael Saylor, who wants us to know that Bitcoin is money. Everything else is credit. And I mean everything else. I think this is a little JD Rockefeller tip of the hat, so to speak. I absolutely love it. Now, I do want to be clear. This was posted back on November 9th, 2024. So I'm kind of bringing back an older post from Michael Saylor. But he wrote, "Get your Bitcoin before supplies run out." I actually used this back on my November 9th show. So that was pretty cool, a little flashback. But I think it was, I believe that it is very relevant today because look at this. Chris shares that Bitcoin on exchanges is falling off a cliff. And then there we go. Boom. Boom. I mean, it's just going down. There's just the supply is getting soaked up, and it's all good signs on the incredibly scarce number of Bitcoins that there are, 21 million total. So good things are coming, especially when you add on this next layer capital post of corporate Bitcoin holdings are going parabolic. What you're seeing here, by the way, is almost 100%, if not 100% strategy. This run up, wow, that was fun. That was like all strategy. And then the other corporations started coming in, adding to the firepower here for sure. So now it's not just strategy running the whole game. He's got a lot of help. Still the dominant player in the house, of course, but corporate Bitcoin holdings are going parabolic. Great news. And Simon, I love this post. Fido, there's just so much going on here. Here you have Michael Saylor, quote unquote, fighting Simon of Metaplanet. You have strategy versus Metaplanet round one fight. What I love is the hit points. You have 597,325 hit points, which is how many Bitcoin Saylor has, compared to 13,350 hit points for Simon. But what's awesome here is this is all fun and games. These gentlemen both respect each other to a high level. They know that they're both winning together. And we know that we're all individually winning more because of both of these gentlemen. Metaplanet holders are winning more because of Michael Saylor and strategy. Strategy holders are winning more because of Metaplanet and Simon and what they're doing. And it's just an amazing world to be in. Chris says, imagine shorting strategy with Michael Saylor in charge when the stock is up 3,300% in the past 5 years, on the cusp of qualifying for the S&P 500 during hyper Bitcoinization in a bull market. You must be mad. And I had to kind of post here a little bit where I said, qualified for the S&P, no cusp in sight, because we're not on the cusp of qualifying. We have officially qualified. Now it is out of our hands as strategy holders. It is out of Michael Saylor's hands, and it is in the hands of some committee. Now, well, some committee, the S&P 500 committee. And so September is the next is the time that we'll learn if we made the first round of inclusions, which could very likely be a no. They're probably going to want to wait at least 1 or 2 rounds before they include it. They've made a Tesla wait many, many, many rounds. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The front running is going to begin. People realize it's inevitable that it's going to happen, so they need to pile in now. This is exactly what happened with the QQQ inclusion, and the S&P 500 is 10 times the size. Too long, didn't read. If you're curious about Jim Chanos, Chris wants us to know he gets liquidated. How does it start? Well, he shorts MSTR, and then a few dominoes fall, and he gets liquidated. It's really that simple. Hate to say it. Chris says Michael Saylor has been laying the foundations that will position strategy to dominate the fixed income market for decades to come. What is phase one? Accumulation. Acquire as much Bitcoin as possible. That is what we are doing with convertible bonds, with MSTR ATM, with Strike, Strife, and Stride ATMs. We are acquiring as much Bitcoin as possible. And by the way, more instruments will be coming. They'll never stop working. Phase two, monetization. Raise capital by issuing products that are over collateralized by Bitcoin and engineered to appeal to the entire investor spectrum. And that's what they are doing. They are accumulating Bitcoin. They are monetizing with Strike, Strife, Stride, and others. It is absolutely unbelievable to see this like firsthand. We are ground floor watching this happen. Strategy says Strike, Strife, and Stride are driving the digital transformation of credit markets. Look at how the prefers have outperformed since their IPOs. Strike is up 46%, which is insanity. Strife is up 31% just since March 21st, by the way. Stride is up 6%. Absolutely blowing the other products out of the water. Michael Saylor never stops marketing. He literally never stops marketing. I love this post from the Bitcoin therapist who did a little screenshot of Elon Musk posting, "Physics sees through all lies perfectly." And then Michael Saylor quickly followed up with, "Bitcoin is based on physics." He's just poking at Elon a little bit here because guess what? It's going to happen. Elon's going to capitulate fully into Bitcoin. Strategy says in the analog world, you call your securities when conditions improve. In the digital world, you scale them. Here we go. Look at the growth. And I'm expecting, by the way, this next week to be large. I might be wrong, but I just, in my bones, I feel like we're going to be at about, excuse me, double what this week is. I'm going to call it right now. I think we're going to do 125 million in Strike and Strife ATMs. It's just a guess. I have no reason or insider knowledge to think why. It just feels like 125 ATM is coming next week. And that would be absolutely amazing. Okay, in this post from Michael Saylor, he's talking about MSTR generating a Bitcoin yield of 7.8% in Q2. So 7.8% yield in Q2. Remember, their goal was 15% for the year before they had to up it. And they did almost 8% in just one quarter. This was a Bitcoin gain of 41,000 Bitcoin worth $4.4 billion. Absolutely outstanding. I love the progress. This is just a train that cannot be stopped. The train has left the building. The train has left the station. Let's go. Here's some great video clips now of Michael Saylor. So enjoy.
We're at this inflection point, moving from economics as art, colored by superstition and religion and ideology. And we're crossing this boundary where economics becomes science and it's informed by mathematics and engineering, right? And the scientific method. But, you have to date that, in my opinion, to January 3rd, 2009, when Satoshi unleashes Bitcoin and there's a singularity, and all of a sudden there's actually engineering, physics, and mathematical principles that are starting to spread in a viral fashion through the economy. And it was like a nothing, and then it's $1 million fire, and then $1 billion network, and then a 10 billion, then 100 billion. Now it's a $1 trillion network, but still $1 trillion is 0.1% of the economy. So 0.1% of the economy has clean money, and 99.9% of the economy runs on dirty, toxic assets that are defective, that are operated by people that don't know they're trading defective assets. Because how would you know if you'd never seen clean? How do you know that you're dirty?
When it comes to my assets, diversification is key. I don't want to be over leveraged in any one thing. I mean, yes, I own MSTR and it makes up a large part of my portfolio, but I also own Bitcoin and always will. And now, thanks to my new sponsor, BitIRA, you can own Bitcoin in a tax sheltered retirement account. BitIRA has been around for almost 10 years as one of the trailblazers in alternative IRAs for crypto. They have built the world's most secure digital IRA. Here's why you'll love them: end to end insurance, highly secure storage, multi encryption, and registered with the US government. And it's fully IRS compliant. If you have a 401k from an old employer or an IRA gathering dust and you'd rather have that retirement account converted to an IRA in Bitcoin, BitIRA will help you convert it free of taxes or penalties. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without taxes incurred on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Again, that's bitira.com/JLD to open a tax sheltered IRA in Bitcoin.
So, of course, you're bullish. I'm bullish. But the point is, the governor of Texas is bullish. The point is, the president of the United States is bullish. The point is, people you don't know in places you've never been are bullish. This is extraordinary. And I take a moment to go back to someone that was bullish when none of us were here, when none of us had this information. January 10th, 2009, the network launched technically January 3rd, but it was kind of clicking away by January 9th. And the next day, a certain genius estimates that Bitcoin could be $10 million a coin. And this is so humbling. It took the rest of us 16 years, $2 trillion in order to come to a conclusion that, yeah, this is going to happen. Thank you, Hal. Inflection point, ignition point, escape velocity. When a nuclear reactor comes online, when the chain reaction starts up, we call that criticality. Bitcoin's reached criticality. The network has come to life. The work's done. The power's flowing. And there's no off switch. Satoshi's fire is now unstoppable, right? The network is unstoppable. Thank you. Satoshi's point is the Schelling point of global money. We can now see, you can see, I can see, the rest of the world is beginning to see that in fact there is an inversion and there's a transformation. This network doesn't need me anymore. This network doesn't need anyone anymore. It's going to continue to grow, and no one can stop it. And so with that, with the help of all that information, I'm going to now share my Bitcoin prophecy.
And there you have it, another episode of MSTR today. And as you can see, my receipt is right here. I did a 0.552 share purchase of MSTR. That was a $210 purchase, which I do every trading day of 2025. I'll do my entire portfolio reveal this coming Sunday, as I always do every single Sunday, with all of my MSTR purchases year to date, the percentage that I'm up or down. Spoiler alert, I'm up right now. And we'll have some fun as well with that. So listen, we've held through the FUD down to $231 a share. We're back over to $400 a share. We're kind of back into like the volatility world where we're down 8%, up 8%. I don't know what the future is going to hold, but I just need to let you know that I believe this is an incredibly bullish time. To me, all signs are pointing up, and not a straight line up. It's meant to be volatile. Volatility is vitality. Volatility is a feature, not a bug. You must remember that as an MSTR holder, which is a leverage play on Bitcoin. So we're going to have some great days ahead. We're going to have some not so great days ahead. But guess what? Michael Saylor and Strategy and Fong Lee and Ed, they're all going to be doing what they do. They're going to be buying Bitcoin. They're going to be working for us, the MSTR equity holders, doing what they need to do to give us the biggest benefits possible, not in the short or even medium term, in the long term. We're in this together. Let's do this. I believe it's inevitable. Michael Saylor believes, as I do, there is no second best.
What's the second best? There is no second best.